Alright traders, I am back again with another video, and in this video we want to take a look at the Ripple dollar cryptocurrency. Right now we're looking at the daily time frame. So basically you could see from this period on right down here, starting at about the 11th of this month of December, you could see this thing has been moving in a steady move to the upside ever since. Okay, and then you could see the pullbacks, then move higher, a little pullback move. You had this big day here where mostly all the cryptocurrencies had this big fluctuation here, this giant drop, and then push back to the upside. All right, but ever since that, you could see prices never really fell below this level. It never even got down to your Kijinsen, Tinkinson levels as far as closing below those levels. So therefore, looking at that, you still have strong momentum to the upside, and you could even just see on the chart, it just shows you strong momentum to the upside. And this asset is not that expensive right now. That's one thing that leads me to worry about, the stability of it. But to catch it at this point would be a great opportunity. Now, being how cheap it is, we could probably set some pretty good stop losses and be protected here, because looking at it now, it looks like you got a big indecision candle here, starting to show rejection, big rejection, so maybe a move back to the downside to correct itself. So with any correction, I'm going to look for the market to move at least to the Kijinsen level, maybe back to the Tinkinson level. So we'll look at these levels. So we'll look at that when we go back to the 4-hour time frame, because that's where we want to look to get into an opportunity with this. And just looking at this, if we're thinking it's going to pull back, just because we see the rejection here, and we got a long time for this candle to close, some good hours, so things may change. The candle may not change, that be what it is when that time comes. But yeah, there looks like there's some rejection here with the market dropping back to the downside. So I'm using Ichimoku default settings, where you could see the market just trailing along, following along the Tinkinson Kijinsen level. Basically Tinkinson Kijinsen follows that. All right, so you could see the clouds so thin, very thin. That means there's not a lot of volatility. You could see the angulation. The market's just moving to the upside, strong moves to the upside. So this is something that you probably want to get an opportunity to catch. So we're going to go to the 4-hour time frame and see if we can look at that. So just think back. We thought about the daily time frame where we said the market could drop to this level. And even we're going to look at another level. Let's go back a little bit further. So we could even look at this Kijinsen level, look for the market to come back to that level. So I marked these on my daily time frame so I could see that level. So if the market violates this point, so you're trading inside this one candle on the 4-hour time frame. So for us to get into the trade now, I think you have to have a stop loss, basically a pretty good size stop loss. I would probably move it down to this point, at least somewhere in here. All right, because you want to expect the market to correct itself, and if it doesn't correct itself, it just keeps going. But when we go to the 4-hour time frame, the way we want to get into the trade, so the market, if the market continues to drop to the downside, we'll never really get triggered, and we could afford to take a little bit of a risk here, being at the price. So what you want to see is maybe you want to get a close above this level, a close above this rejection point, because see, we still stayed outside the TK zone. Price never closed below your Tinkinson, and in a strong trend, price shouldn't close below Tinkinson. Here you closed inside Tinkinson a little bit, but you continued higher. You bounced off of your Kijinsen here. The market was a little bit flat. Here the market was just flat sideways, wasn't doing much on the 4-hour time frame. But you could see as we continued, and the moves here were really, really strong. So you bounced off of your Kijinsen one time here with a rejection, strong rejection candle. Then the market kept going to the upside. Now here you're so flat, you can't trade anything there. You don't really see anything happening. All right. But where we are now, a good level to get into would be this point. So the things to watch for now, so there's going to be opportunities to get into the market, but the things you're going to want to watch for, if this candle closes below but stays inside of this candle here, I would keep my trade opportunity on and then just wait for the market to close above this level. Now, if you close below your wick here on this rejection candle, then take that off the table. All right, so a close there, and if it makes a new low, more than likely also, but a definite close below your 4-hour Kijinsen would probably signify we're going to get that good drop to the downside. So we don't know if we're going to get that drop, but it looks like you are because of the daily time frame, and I like to base everything off of the daily. And then when I look at the 4-hour, I get in based off of the daily. So looking at the daily, I'm basing my entry getting on the rejection to the upside. Now still, also the daily has shown me there's maybe a rejection here where we're going to see the pullback. So if we're going to see that pullback, let's make this into a zone where we could look for the market to pull back to. All right, and then we'll go to the 4-hour time frame and we'll look at our zone. So I'm going to make this zone just like this, and then see if the market comes back that far if I'm on the 4-hour. Now I still want to look to get into my 4-hour trade. My 4-hour trade now is currently as it is, so we want to see the market get into that point. Now if it closes below, then look for it. If it closes below this wick and the Kijinsen here, then look for the market to come back to this area here for a possible trade to the upside. So you'd be looking at something like this. If the market does now closes above here, closes here or somewhere, you take the trade long, right? But if not, and we continue to drop and we go lower, then you start looking for the market to come down to our level here, inside our zone here, and then we'll trade to the upside. All right, that's what we're looking for. But currently we still have an opportunity for the long here if the market closes above our level here. And you want to close above that level, which is 2.14000. If not, you're going to see the market drop lower down to this point here, and maybe down here, and we could get into our trade. Market goes to the upside. All right, so that's what we're looking at with the Ripple dollar. Let's look at a couple other things that we did not talk about. Let's go to the daily first. The thing about the daily right here, so pay attention to this, but there is no divergence, and this is the ultimate oscillator. There's no divergence. It's following along with price. It's not diverting from price. So we may not see the move here. I mean, we don't see any divergence, but still, again, just with a candle like this, you normally, if it closes like that, you're normally looking to see the drop to the downside, a little correction of itself. All right, so when you look back at the chart, the same things that you're always looking for, the same exact things. So you had a nice rejection here. This rejection was super big. I wouldn't have been able to judge the market. I mean, you say that you see the rejection and the buying pressure, right? Everything comes in and you take the trade to the upside with a close above this point, which would have been right here. But again, you could also just look at this level, because looking here, this was so big, you know, that it was harder to trade because you had so much room to give itself. So looking here, once we got to Kijinsen again, our Tinkinson level right here, you bounced off Tinkinson, you had an entry right here again. But now we don't have that level on the daily time frame anymore, because we're thinking the market may come back to the downside. But you could see how you had this candle here, and then the market kept going to the upside. So it could be the same situation here. No divergence. And then when you go to the 4-hour time frame, you do have an opportunity to bounce off of your Tinkinson Kijinsen level. So you're at your TK zone. And then the other thing that we kind of like is that, look at this level here. This level right here. So I'm going to mark this. This level is pretty much this candle now. And then this level right here is this level. So this level is a little higher, but on the chart it's a little lower, which indicates hidden bullish divergence with a possibility for the market to move to the upside. Looking at that on the 4-hour time frame. So again, be patient with these trades, because you're going to get a good chance, because look at the price where it is. If this thing is going to take off like pretty much like your Bitcoin and all that, you got a good opportunity to make some very good profit. If you just be patient and wait on this thing. If you get impatient and jump in and out, you're just wasting your time. So get patient, look for the area that we want to get to trade, because you really want to have a level where you're looking to get into the trade. So we're currently at a level on the 4-hour, and then we're looking overall. If it diverts and drops to the downside to correct itself, we're looking in this area right here where my zone is. All right, and if you want to know the levels of the zone, you saw where I drew that. Let's go back to it real quick. So Let's see what the exact levels are so you guys could look at that. Format. Our coordinates are, as you could see, 1.32139 and 1.30555. That's the coordinates that I marked it on. And if you're looking at that, you could look for the market to correct itself back to that point, quite possibly. But again, we're going back to the 4-hour here now, because overall we do want to trade long. And if we're trading short, a lot of people start thinking, you know, if you're looking at a short trade because you're saying, well, the market's going to drop, they say, well, it's bullish. Yes, it's bullish, but it's just correcting itself. We're bullish with the cloud. We're bullish with our crossovers. Everything is bullish. We're just looking for the correction. And some people trade corrections. I don't waste my time trading that correction. I want to get in where the strength is. The strength is with the move, not the correction. But yes, trading the correction is nothing wrong with that. If you trade a correction, you need to know where price may fail or may stop and go back with the trend. But looking here at the 4-hour, that's why we have this level. We want to make sure price closes above it first. With a rejection like this, I usually play this level and I'll just trade it to the upside. But I'm not doing that this time just because I have the big indecision candle on the daily time frame. So therefore, I want to see the pull back and then get into the move. That's why I'm waiting to see if it closes above. If it doesn't, I'm going to look for a correction down here and I'll update this again. Now again, you could still have your correction. You could see the support levels for Ichimoku. On the 4-hour time frame, we're looking at this short-term momentum and support resistance for the Tenkan-sen, medium-term momentum and support level for your Kijun-sen. And then your overall level is your cloud. But I have this level here where I'm looking to see for the entry if the market violates. So again, you're going to look for bounces on your Tenkan-sen and your cloud. I mean, your Tenkan-sen and your Kijun-sen. All right. And then overall, I made a level here that I'm looking at for a price to correct itself if it drops past this point and then get back to the upside. Now we are thinking overall, we're looking for the long term, right? So therefore, don't let these little moves in the market deter you. All right, just be prepared and know that the market is gonna correct itself and move in that manner. All right, so therefore, once we set our goal and get into our trade, let that whole level play itself. All right, so hopefully this is helping you guys. Hopefully this helped you all out. I'm currently using, again, the default settings with Ichimoku. Also, you could come visit my site at www.fxatoneglance. And currently I'm offering a membership till the end of this year, which is coming up in the next day. So one more day and I have a lifetime membership for anyone that's interested. And that offer will end at the end of tomorrow evening. All right, guys, hopefully this helps you. Until next time, have a great one. God bless. So long.